A significant shift on the world stage. This Sunday, three major Western powers, the United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia, formally recognized the Palestinian people's right to statehood, a move that marks a historic turning point in their foreign policy and signals Israel's growing international isolation. Although largely symbolic without U.S. and Israeli backing, this coordinated recognition is a powerful diplomatic effort to revive the stalled peace process and apply pressure for a ceasefire in the devastating war in Gaza. The decision was announced simultaneously by the nation's leaders. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney stated on social media that Canada, quote, recognizes the state of Palestine and offers our partnership in building the promise of a peaceful future for both peoples. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer affirmed the UK's recognition was made, quote, to revive the hope of peace for the Palestinians and Israelis and a two-state solution. This follows through on a promise Starmer made in July, conditional on Israel not agreeing to a ceasefire, and Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, in a joint statement with Foreign Minister Penny Wong, called the two-state solution, quote, the only path to enduring peace. Crucially, Albanese detailed that this recognition came with prerequisites agreed to by Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas, including commitments to democratic elections and governmental reforms. The statement explicitly noted the terrorist organization Hamas must have no role in Palestine. This growing wave of recognition stands in direct opposition to the stance of the United States and Israel. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has consistently argued that recognizing Palestinian statehood rewards terrorism and empowers Hamas. The war, now entering its third year, began after Hamas's October 7, 2023, attacks that killed over 1,000 Israelis and saw 250 taken hostage. Israel's subsequent military campaign has resulted in the deaths of over 65,000 Palestinians, according to local health authorities, and has displaced nearly the entire population of Gaza. Ahead of a trip to Israel, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio seemed to dismiss the significance of the European and Canadian moves, suggesting Israel's intensification of settlements in the West Bank was a direct reaction to them. So, what does this recognition actually mean? With the addition of the UK, Canada, and Australia, roughly 150 out of 193 UN member states now recognize Palestinian sovereignty. However, experts caution that without support from key players, the impact is limited. Burcu Ocelik of the Royal United Services Institute told the Associated Press, quote, it's significant for France and the UK to recognize Palestine, but without the United States coming on board, very little will change on the ground. Similarly, Olivia O'Sullivan of Chatham House noted the move has symbolic and historic weight and is intended to keep the goal of a two-state solution relevant and alive. The concept of a two-state solution was the focus of a major UN conference in late July, co-hosted by France and Saudi Arabia. Dozens of countries, including the Arab League and European Union, signed a statement calling for Hamas to disarm and surrender power, throwing support behind the reformed Palestinian Authority as the legitimate government. The statement even presented the option of deploying a UN peacekeeping force, with several Arab states offering troops. However, Hamas has shown no indication it is willing to disarm, and Israel has escalated its military operations, continuing a cycle of violence that the international community is now desperately trying to break with this powerful yet symbolic gesture of recognition. The world is watching, and the pressure is mounting. For World News Daily, World Update 24/7,